Before we get started, do me a favor and smash that like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay, this video is going to answer the question that Nicole has asked, and hopefully help her to understand, and I'm sure others have the same question. So first of all, the LP as it existed before no longer exists. It will come back eventually in a similar form, but improved basically. And so anybody who did not remove their assets from the LP during that very short window they gave, whatever T-fuel that they had in there will be added to their IL. So that's the situation with the LP as it existed before. It had some problems, and they're going to attempt to solve those problems. But the new version of the LP is not going to be released, according to their video, until after all of the IL has been paid out, and that could be months, perhaps. So as far as your IL and whether or not to accept it, unless you don't want it right now because of potential tax implications, which I don't think will be the case, but I'm not a tax expert, so you want to check with your tax accountant for that answer. But you should accept your IL, and you need to decide whether you want it all as T-fuel or all as G-note, or some combination of the two. You know, you could go 50% T-fuel, 50% G-note. And the way it's going to work is if you selected that you want it as G-note, you're going to get all of it on March 13th, that first distribution period. Or whatever, you know, if you said I want 50% T-fuel, 50% G-note, you'll get the entire amount of G-note that's coming to you on March 13th. And the T-fuel, that's another story. The way that's going to work is after they've paid out all of the G-note that is needed, they are going to burn the ability to create any more G-note. So whatever G-note exists at that point, that's all the G-note they'll ever be, and it will become a deflationary token. There are reasons that you might want some G-note, and getting it via the IL route is one way to get it. They do intend on standing up a T-fuel / G-note LP also on March 13th with 1 million T-fuel paired with 1 million G-note, and so you will be able to go and trade some T-fuel for G-note using that LP. But that's not going to be an LP that you can stake to, so keep that in mind. You can just use it to swap one way or the other. And basically the price of G-note, or the value of G-note, is going to be, as I understand it, it's going to be based on the ratio of T-fuel to G-note in that LP. So initially it's going to be essentially 1-to-1, but as people start trading in and out, that price could go up or it could go down. What I think is going to happen is I think it's going to go down initially, because people are going to be, that already have G-note, are going to be trading it out for T-fuel, and that's going to cause the price of G-note to go down, because more G-note will be going in and T-fuel will be coming out. But I think eventually, as people start needing G-note to do things like run an Oracle, or there's a number of other things spelled out in that video that you'll need G-note for. So you just basically need to decide which way you want to go to get some G-Note. So that's the way it's going to be. Oh, the way the T-Fuel will be paid out is whatever T-Fuel is left in the LP, or was left in the LP because it's gone now, was transferred to a reserve wallet. And the way it'll work is the amount of T-Fuel that's needed to pay IL as compared to the amount of T-Fuel that's in that reserve wallet will determine how much T-Fuel you get on March 13th. And it's not going to be by paying a list of wallets one at a time kind of thing. It's going to be everybody who has T-Fuel coming is going to receive some on March 13th. How much they receive is dependent upon how much is needed and how much is actually in that reserve. For example, if there's 100,000 T-Fuel worth of IL needed and there's only 50,000 T-Fuel in that reserve wallet, then there's only enough in that reserve wallet to pay out 50% of the IL on March 13th. So basically everybody will get 50% of their IL in the form of T-Fuel on that day, and then the next 2 weeks where they do another payout, they'll do the same thing, however much is in that reserve 2 weeks later, because G-Pool has revenue in the form of T-Fuel that they get, and so they're going to dedicate some portion of that to filling the reserve back up, and then they'll pay out 2 weeks later some more against the IL, and they'll just keep repeating that process every other Monday by 8 p.m. Eastern time. They'll be paying out some more T-Fuel until they have got everybody that had T-Fuel coming to them will have received it. And they are not going to stand up the new LP until after they have paid out all of that IL. So that's the way it's going to work, and hopefully that answered the questions. You have to go and make that decision on the IL page, which is gpool.io/metamask. Connect your wallet, and then it'll tell you how much you're going to get